Hi everyone, welcome to Berry's journey. Most people hear about sickle cell and they think they understand it. They think it's just that one is tired, or maybe it's just rare, or probably it affects some certain kind of people. But I'm here to tell you, almost everything people thought they knew about sickle cell disease is wrong. And this misunderstanding has real consequences for people like me. My name is Ebere. I have been living with sickle cell disease all my life. And today, I'm going to tell you my story and the truth this condition has taught me. I was diagnosed at age 10 after my first crisis. How did I come about that? I was having pains on my knee. At that time, they gave me paracetamol. It didn't work, so I was rushed to the hospital. Doctor checked and asked what was my genotype. Unfortunately, my parents were not exposed to know anything about sickle cell. And so a test was done on me and it came out positive that I was a sickle cell warrior. Like most people with sickle cell, I didn't choose this. It is genetic and I inherited it. And it has been part of me since day one. Growing up, I looked like any other child. And that was part of a problem because sickle cell is an invisible disease. It can't be seen, which means the moment I say I'm in pain, a lot of people are confused and really don't understand. When people hear sickle cell, they think of pain, but it's just more than pain. It is tiredness, fear, and the constant need to plan your life around your body limits. Nobody tells you how isolating it can feel when your body betrays you in the middle of a day. Sickle cell disease is a genetic blood disorder. Instead of healthy, round, red blood cells that flows easily, the cells are in sickle shape, and while flowing, they get stuck. They clump up together, and when this happens, oxygen can't reach part of the body, which results to pain, real severe pain. Moreover, this is just the beginning. Before now, 1 minute you're fine, the next it feels like fire running through your vein. You learn to smile through it because explaining every time becomes exhausting. Let me describe what sickle cell crisis actually feels like, because most people can't even begin to comprehend what it feels like. So imagine somebody or something crushing your bone from inside. Your chest tightens, you're gasping for air, your back screams, your joint aches so deeply that no position brings relief. It is not headache that you can push through. It is not even tiredness you can sleep off. No. And here is what makes it worse. You never know when it's coming. Cold weather can trigger it. Dehydration, stress, and sometimes nothing at all. But over the years, I've learned to read my body like a map, because Catching the early signs makes a whole lot of difference between managing it at home or ending up in emergency care. One of the biggest myths I want to bust right now is that sickle cell patients exaggerate their pain to get pain medication. Not true, because the pain is worth exaggerating. It's more than exaggeration, because you cannot explain, describe until you have felt it. The emotional side nobody talks about living with sickle cell. For me, the anxiety before every crisis or the hospital visit, or rather, the guilt of missing out in life and the fear of being misunderstood. But I've come to understand and learn that vulnerability is not weakness, but rather power. So I've learned to be intentional in ways other people's won't. I dehydrate, cover up properly, lower my limitations, take my medication consistently. These are just parts of my routine. Mental health is also a big factor that helps, and people don't talk about it enough. Living with chronic pain and uncertainty takes a toll. There have been times I have struggled with anxiety, feeling like a body, or grieving the version of myself that I don't want to have to think about all this. And for my relationship, my family, my friends, they have become more aware about this condition too. Because when you love someone with sickle cell, it affects you. I've learned to ask for help. Most people around me have been supportive without making me feel less capable. So the big picture, what has sickle cell taught me? It has taught me to listen to my body, to rest without guilt, and to celebrate my every small victory. It taught me that survival is not just living, it is about striving. If you're living with sickle cell or loving someone who is, know this: you are not alone. Your story matters, and I see your strength. And that truth deserves to be heard. There's something that needs enough attention, especially in creating awareness for sickle cell disease. Sickle cell disease affects 7 million people worldwide. Yes, millions of people. But it is consistently underfunded, under-researched, and not properly presented in the mainstream of health conversation. This disease affects people of Africa, the Caribbean, Middle Eastern, and South Asia. It has been historically taken by the medical and scientific community. Although it's a good way to start a change, as new treatments are being approved, but we still have a long way. That's why I made it to create more awareness using my platform, so that each time someone watches a video like this, each time somebody shares it, we are gradually closing that gap a little bit, because awareness leads to empathy, and empathy leads to better care with understanding, both in the hospital, in the school, in workplaces, and most importantly, in families. So here is the truth about sickle cell I want to leave with you today. It is not a mild condition or a death sentence. It is not something to be ashamed of or something you should ignore. People with sickle cell are one of the strongest, resilient, self-aware people I know, because I'm one. And we just have to be. Why? Because navigating a system that wasn't built or meant for us, managing a condition that is invisible to the world, but still showing up in our lives every single day. So dear friends, if you're living with sickle cell, you are not alone. This channel is for you. I'll keep creating content on creating awareness for sickle cell, ways to manage symptoms, mental health support, family planning, and so much more. So if you are here to learn, thank you. And please share this video so that it could reach someone who needs to hear this. And while doing that, subscribe and let's keep this conversation going.